Testing, testing. Quick audio test on stream playback. Alright, that sounds good. Playback's a bit scuffed, though. Okay. Looks like we're good to go. Just going to wait for a few viewers to trickle in here before we get down to business for real.
Before we start, I'm gonna go get a drink.
Alright, go ahead. Oh, my mic is not being very friendly. Almost out of the loading screen now. And here we are. Okay then, welcome everybody to BRL Season 5 today. We've got round 18 of our 5th season on Xbox One here with Tier 2. We have a 12-car grid for today, unfortunately pretty small compared to our normal load of 15 to 19, but it'll have to do. We're at the absolutely stellar Suzuka circuit today for what should still be a very entertaining race indeed. But first, we've got qualifying to get through. 18 minutes for these guys to set the fastest flying lap times they possibly can on either the soft or medium tire, depending on what strategy they want to go into for the race. I'm here with Sergeant Milk today. Say hello, Milk.
Hello, hello, hello.
Okay, we've got DXD Ishigo as the first car to come out on track in the Renault. You can see he's running the number 14 on the car there in tribute to Fernando Alonso's return to F1 next year. Until he returns, we'll have to be content with seeing these guys go around the track bearing the number 14. He's just on an outlet for qualifying right now. I don't see anyone fitting the medium tire just yet. Oh, except for ARL Brackish in the McLaren. Looks like he might try the medium gamble. Strategy should be somewhat interesting here. Could be a soft to hard one-stop, or it can be a two-stop strategy. Medium to hard isn't strictly necessary around here for a one-stop like it is at a place like Spain. It's kind of a medium tire wear circuit, so I don't expect too many guys to be running the medium gamble here. Looks like Brackish is the only one who's even trying it, but there will be time for any other driver willing to try it later in the session. We're going to ride on board with Ishigo for this first lap around the Suzuka circuit as a nice little onboard tour of the track. Here's the pit straight, one of the longest straights on the circuit and the only DRS zone in the entire place. Into turn 1, really high speed corner. Tricky braking zone, easy to lock up. Ooh, a bit of a tank slapper on exit. Wheel on the grass through turn 2 and 3 now into the, 3 and 4 into the S section. 5 and 6, very flowing. Plenty of elevation change to add some extra challenge to these drivers' laps, and this is a really hard place to master, but when you hook up that first sector, it can really feel so rewarding. Now through the 2 Degna corners, looks pretty solid. They're not the fastest, but getting through without dying of death at the very least. Now into the hairpin, 2nd gear corner or 3rd, depending on your preference. It looks like Ishigo's gone for higher gear, meaning less power but more traction out of the corner. And now onto this pseudo straight, coming up to spoon curve now. It's a double apex corner, 5th gear entry. 2nd apex is taken in 4th gear, but he's missed it and he almost goes wide and invalidates the lap, just avoiding that fate. Thankfully for Ishigo. Now going down the back straight, that exit off a spoon is really going to hurt him. Purple middle sector, of course, because he's got the only middle sector of anyone so far. Through 130R corner and into the Casio triangle. Again, another 2nd or 3rd gear corner, whichever one you like. And thundering down the pit straight, DRS open again, and it's 1 minute 27.2. That will be the benchmark time for the rest of these folks. Now we're going to go to DRL Skeppy, who's... Yeah, Skeppy's already invalidated his lap, so it's going to be by Juggernog in the Mercedes.
26.4.
Beating the time by a second. And Radicus splitting the two with a 126.794. Although, to be fair, there was a big mistake made by... Yeah, there was a big mistake made by Shigo on that lap, so it was never going to be pole. A catcher comes across the line with a 126.6 indeed. ARL Brackish coming in with an extremely slow lap on the mediums. I'm guessing that's just a banker time. Looks like Smoking Ginger invalidated his first lap of the day. Going to Swoller Steam, he's... Alright, he appears to have invalidated. Tazonic on his outlap right now. Looks like Smoking Ginger might be going... Oh no, I think he's just starting his lap. That wasn't his... That last one wasn't a flying lap, it was just an outlap. So this is Smoking Ginger's flying lap. Looking pretty smooth so far. Sector 1 split. Gonna be a 31.5, not too bad. Very smooth through Degna too. El Taco Man Gaming is in the chat with waving 3 green flags. Indeed, we are underway here. And we should see plenty of good racing action today. Again, unfortunately, we only have a 12-car grid at the moment. Not too many people were able to show up. That often happens around the holidays. Just people having family engagements. Life happens. This isn't a career for any of these guys.
Some of them.
So some will be missing from week to week. Well, yeah, some of them just sweat super hard, like Phantom, but still get nothing out of it. Anyway, Smoking Ginger, purple middle sector for Ginger, coming through 130R corner now. I remember a couple of weeks ago in Singapore, Ginger pulled out an extremely surprising qualifying performance at Singapore, qualifying second.
26 for Brackish, second flag lap.
27-0 for Ginger. So it looks like not too good of a lap. Yeah, Tazonic is heading into the Degna corners right now. He's on the mediums, actually. But he's invalidated into Degna 1. Looks like he just took a bit too much out of the apex. I'm guessing that purple sector 1's a fluke, if he's on mediums. Era Sizu in the Haas. Now coming through the flowing S's section. A little bit of lag on our end, a bit of a ugly frame drop there, but we're good, we're all good. A brief statement. Let's see, let's go over the last race real quick. Russian Grand Prix last week. First race after our Thanksgiving break, and on that occasion, our championship leader, Saxman24, took his McLaren to the flag. And, ooh, Eden just joined, I'm not sure why. He's a bit late.
He can still jump in the car and like time qualifying. I don't know why he's just
Anyway, Saxman and Zach JW in his first race back after a couple of did not starts. Netted second place for Red Bull, and Tazonic netted his 4th podium of the season with 3rd place. All three of them are here today, except for Zach, actually. But at least Saxman and Tazonic will be hoping to replicate their podium performances from last week. And considering how few competitors there are this weekend, I would say they've got a decent chance at it. Zizou now just approaching the line. It's not a very good lap. 1.3. That is
Saxman
pace to be around here.
Flying lap so far. Sector 1.
Purple sector 1 for Saxman. We'll watch this with great interest. He's about to come through the middle sector split. Down the back straight now. What's he going to pull out? Purple middle sector for the championship leader. Can he grab provisional pole from Juggernaut? We're going to find out. Riding on board into the Casio Triangle. Such a tricky chicane. Ooh, he negotiates it very well indeed. That's the smoothest I've seen anyone do it so far, and it's going to be a 1:27.0.
Not quite.
Oh, he must have lost time somewhere in that chicane, because that's a pretty huge gap after 2 purple sectors. Maybe he botched the exit out of Spoon or something.
Yeah.
And that hampered his run down the back straight. I'm not sure. Maybe one of the purple sectors was just a lie. The game sometimes says somebody got a purple sector even though they didn't, which is really annoying for commentators like you and I. Tazonic coming into the final chicane now. Sorry to interrupt. Going a bit wide at both apexes. Not taking the tightest line, but Tazonic's still going to get a solid lap. 128.1, beating the other medium runner, Brackish. And his teammate, Sweller's teammate, just starting out with his first flying lap right now. This is actually Steam's Tier 2 debut, if I'm not mistaken. I met this guy in 5-lappers a few months ago, and Juggernaut's out! Hold on a minute. Let's see, Ginger can give us a good look here. Coming out of turn 2. You're right, Milk, and ooh, that right front does not look very happy, to say the least. Ah, wow, okay. So Juggernog is not going to be able to defend his pole position. He still has it. The question is, with so many other fast people here, will he still have it by the end of the session? One of those fast people, Sweller Steam, trying to prove what he can do in his first race for Williams.
Looking like a good lap so far from him.
Yeah, looking pretty solid in the first sector.
Nice line through Spoon. A little bit wide, little tax lap.
That's a wide moment. That looked a lot like what Ishigo did on his first lap. So
Cost him
going down the back straight now.
10.8 in the middle sector.
Through 130R very nicely, but that's not going to gain or lose you a whole lot of time.
Slightly.
It's flat out. Ooh, he misses the second apex of the Casio triangle, and that lap just fell apart from the Spoon onwards. That's going to be a 27.9. He still beats his teammate, but only barely. He should be going a lot faster considering he's on the softer tire. I'm sure he can shave a few more tenths off of that time. Maybe bring himself into that fight with Saxman, Ginger, and Ishigo in the high 27s, low 26s. Or rather, the low 27s, high 26s. It's good old lap time terminology. Very counterintuitive. Anyway, we've got another... And my spectator menu's frozen, so we're going to have to do the old-fashioned scrolling method. Ooh, Juggernog sets the fastest lap. That's a total lie. The UI glitching out slightly on my end, but we're good. We are very much good. Smoking Ginger now on a flying lap. Either that or he's pushing extremely hard on his in-lap. Ooh, he's down by a 10th and a half on his previous time. What a great camera angle through Degna, too. That just shows how much the car moves through the corner and the beautiful line it takes. Swooping almost. Bit of a lockup into the hairpin, but he gets the car slowed down, makes the apex, and powers out now onto the second straight. Approaching the Spoon curve in 8th gear. Wide entry. Stays in 6th gear for a little longer than I would, but he knows what he's doing, and he gets a much better exit than Sweller Steam did, I will say that much. Now down the back straight, what is his middle sector split going to be? Ooh, purple middle sector for Ginger. He's 3.5 tenths down on his previous time. That'll put him up to 3rd place. Could have a shot at the front row here. How much time can he gain in the Casio triangle? We're about to find out.
26.7.
And it's 3rd place.
A brake tester joins.
Just 100 faster than Radicus. A couple of guys joining late. Brake Tester 1 is one of our AlphaTauri drivers, in case you guys don't know, but he has cometh too lateth, and so we shall starteth withouteth. If that made any sense to anyone at all.
Down on his time.
Oh yeah, you're right. He had that mistake in the first part of the lap. He goes so much faster. We know it, and it's going to be pole position for Ishigo by 100th, and Juggernog can't respond. Juggernog must be kicking himself right now. Whatever mistake he made in turn 2, it just cost him pole position definitively. And he could get knocked out even further down the order. Katra, Ginger, Saxman, they all have the speed to do it. Maybe Steam as well.
I think Zarja's on the lap. He has 1.1 seconds up.
Indeed. Eris, Zizu. Actually, Edu has found a way to join mid-session, surprisingly.
Yeah, if you...
Zach the Beast is in
the... you can just
Zach the Beast is in the chat. Our current championship leader for Tier 5. Something the drivers need to look out for at the pit road exit. Very slippery. Yeah, I think the main thing about the pit lane exit is just how awkward a line it is into turn 1 from it. It's a really difficult thing to deal with while still carrying speed and watching out for other drivers. Oh, that's not a good one. That's not a good thing to do from Zizu. But on the bright side, we've got a 14-car grid now. Pretty solid. Brake Tester's just left.
I'll try and invite him back.
Yeah, get him back in here. The more the merrier. We need more than 12 people, I'd certainly say. The Eris Edu is now on his first flying lap after joining a bit late in qualifying. Coming into Spoon curve. Ooh, staying in 8th gear all the way around the first half of the corner and exiting in 6th. That's really unusual.
I think he's on an out lap. I think he may have messed it up somewhere.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why, but the lap timer says he's got a 424, which I think is very dubious. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Edu's timing. I'm guessing it might be glitched a bit because he joined the session late, but I'm sure it'll be fixed next lap.
As he goes on to his lap now.
Yeah. Whether he actually does do 2 consecutive flyers is up for debate, because that wasn't his out lap. That looked like a glitch timing flying lap with glitch timing. If I could get my words arranged correctly.
Looking good through the S's.
Yeah, I guess he could have been. Maybe he's just marginal on fuel, and he was in 8th gear through spoon to try and save fuel in preparation for this next lap. Purple sector 1 for Edu. Watch out for him. Jeb Motorsports in the chat now, one of our newer followers. Hello there. Hello to you as well. We're just about wrapping up qualifying here. 14-car grid here today, which is quite a lot better than
there we go.
the 12-car grid we thought we were getting. So again, hopefully he'll get to rush out and do a flying lap.
Oh, and Taylor's out.
Oh, Taylor Clancy.
That's in the pit lane.
Yeah, that is in the pit lane. So I'm guessing he's just not bothering with a lap. Not too sure why, but that's the fact of the matter. Question is, will Edu join his teammate on the back row of the grid? It's not looking like it right now. He's on for a decent time. Not a purple sector 2, so he just doesn't have the same guts, I suppose, in those corners that Ishigo does, and perhaps Juggernaut does as well. We're going to see what his time is as he comes up to the line. Takes quite a bit of curb on the second apex of the Casio Triangle, but that's going to help him. And it's a purple sector 3. Respectable time, certainly. P6 only 100th off Radicus, 200ths off Smoking Ginger, so very fine margins. Question now is, does he have enough fuel to go for another run? I don't think he wants to go for another run, because keep in mind, those are the tires he'll have to start the race on if he stays in 6th.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Tazonic is on another flying lap, this time on the soft tire, so he is abandoning the median gamble, trying to improve his position of 9th. Track position does mean a lot at Suzuka. It's one of the harder tracks to overtake at. It's only got 1 DRS zone.
Brackish also abandoning the medium strat as well.
Oh yeah, he's out on the softs as well, you are correct. But we're going to focus on Tazonic for now, as he's on a flying lap through Degna 2. Very nice indeed. It's easy to look professional going through Degna 2. It's such a nice corner. It's so fun to say, too. I don't know why. Degna 2, Degna 2. That looks like a racing point. That might be Edu moving over for the Flying Williams.
Skipping needs to get a good lap in there.
Ooh, wheel on the grass on the inside. Bit of a scuffed line through the first part of the corner, but taking the second part beautifully out onto the back straight. I think he's going to get a pretty good run. He should be somewhere in the 110s for the middle sector split.
He is 110.6.
And he is. Ooh, he's down by 9/10 on his previous lap. That'll at least let him jump Sweller's Steam, if not Saxman. Although the gap to Saxman is quite a lot larger than his teammate. Hey, Katra retires. They don't have time for another lap anyway, so it's good that they did it.
He's lost it somewhere.
Oh, Tazonic's 200ths. Oh, you're right. Katra is out. We're going to ride on board with Radicus to see. Oh my gosh. He went a long way off into the barrier. I have no idea how that could have happened, but clearly he made some sort of mistake, and just like with Juggernog, it's bit him in the butt and cost him a chance at pole. But Tazonic, decent lap. Only a couple of hundredths behind Saxman. If he just found something extra in the middle sector, he might have done it. But Swellerstein, meanwhile, he's bolted on another fresh tires, and he's going to try and re-leapfrog his teammate. His middle and third sectors were riddled with mistakes last time out, so he should be able to claw back quite a bit of time.
Skipping that one.
You do need to be in the low 127s at least to be competitive at this level. With Tier 3, it's more like, I guess we can expect to see high 127s, low 28s. And then with Tier 4 and 5, who knows what you'll find.
Ishigo abandoning his lap, clearly.
Yeah, Ishigo looks pretty secure in pole position right now. Although there are plenty of people who could disrupt him. I don't think Radicus will. Swellersteam, I'm interested to see what Swellersteam's middle sector split's going to be, because Sweller is really the big outlier among this group, just because he's new. Yeah. He's only a 10th down. That's not going to gain him any positions. He's going to need to find 8/10ths in the Casio Triangle, which I don't think he's going to do. Saxman actually... oh no, Tazonic jumped Saxman, my bad. Tazonic did another lap on the same set of softs, so that's going to hurt him at the start of the race, because he'll have more worn tires, but...
Saxman comes across the line to do a 3.
And it means Tazonic will start on the clean side of the track. Never mind, Saxman's re-jumped him. Look at that, 126.5.
P10.
And Coyote 1294 has joined. That looks like a random.
Zaizu now on the lap.
You're right, Zaizu's going to try and...
27-1.
Ooh, he does improve his position. He
Skeppy
Bracket gets
pole.
into the top 10. Skeppy on pole. Holy crap, that came out of nowhere. Skeppy's first valid lap of the entire session, and boom, pole position. Easy. 126.427.
Wow.
Beating Ishigo's time by 0.06 of a second. Again, all three of the other people who were fighting for pole, Katra, Juggernog, and Ishigo, they all made mistakes that prevented them from fighting for it. Ishigo invalidated his last lap, and then the other two crashed, of course. So this is your starting grid. BRL Skeppy on a surprising pole from Mercedes. He'll be joined on the front row by DXD Ishigo in the Renault, by Juggernog and Saxman, both on the softs as well in the Mercedes and the McLaren respectively. Then Smoking Ginger, another great qualifying performance from him, followed by Hey Katra and the Renault, who could have gone higher, I'm sure. Katra's our regular podium sitter. Radicus in the Ferrari getting a decent showing. Edu in the Racing Point joining and getting a pretty decent time in. And then Tazonic and Swellersteam round out the top 10, the two Williams cars. Looking very competitive vis-a-vis one another. And then Zizou and Brackish and Brake Tester all putting in lap times as well, but not very impressive ones. Taylor Clan not putting in a time at all, but those last four will have a completely free choice of tires when they start the race. So we're going to go to the grid now, check Twitch chat. Jeb Motorsport says, commentating the new PC tier popped into the Xbox. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about that, but congrats on that, Jeb. Yeah, I heard about that yesterday. Cherno Saya Twitch has just followed us. So thank you very much. You are our 730 on the BRL Twitch channel. It really is insane how large this is, this channel. And we've got 22 viewers now, according to Twitch, and we've been live for 22 minutes. How perfect. Yeah, imagine if we got another viewer for every minute the stream was live. That would be absolutely perfect. We'd probably set a new viewer record if that happened. But anyway, we're on the grid now. Hopefully there will be fewer technical issues since there's only 14 people rather than a full grid. But at the same time, 2 people joined mid-qualifying. And in the past, that has caught out many a racing league with bugs and other... another new follower, Raya1. Just now, thank you for following the stream. Anything that you guys do to help us is always appreciated. And now, this is your pole sitter, BRL Skippy. Let's see the tires people are on. And it looks like no one's opting for the hards, which makes sense. Taylor Clan and ARS Edu all decide to... Wait, what? No, we don't operate on PS4. We've got small PS as well. Nothing on PS4, unfortunately. ARS Edu saying, I got sent to the back of the grid. Yeah, Edu, I'm not sure if you got a grid penalty or something, but yeah, you might want to take that up with the stewards a bit, because I didn't see any of that. It's too late to go back to the race director for qualifying now to see if he did get a grid penalty. But I don't think he had one. There was never any indication of it.
Didn't pop up saying...
Exactly, yeah, there was no notification. So that means Mercedes are going to be at the back of the grid, while the 2 black Mercedes are right at the front, split. Namely, DXD Ishigo. Saxman, the champion. What can he do from 4th on the grid? If he were to win today, it wouldn't be the first time that he won being slightly out of position. Pulled it up. The only way to find out what happens in the race? I highly doubt it. This is Suzuka. Anything can happen. That's why it's such a great track. But the only way to figure out what happens is to keep watching, so stay tuned, everybody. Follow if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're really a huge fanboy of BRL. Oh. And if you love this excellent brake duct cam of Saxman's car and want to see more of it, follow the stream. That's our lesson for today. Game is predicted one stop or a 2-stop with 2 sets of softs, which makes perfect sense for one of these medium tire wear race tracks. There's often pandemonium about this track. Will that be the case today? Let's find out. Focusing on Skeppy. 5 red lights.
Away we go.
And it's about time we went. Skeppy gets a pretty decent start, but so does Ishigo. Not enough to get alongside. I don't think he'll make a move. Yes, Skeppy cuts him off. Skeppy gets the inside line. Ishigo puts a wheel on the grass. Saxman is side by side with Juggernog. He's going to lose a position to the McLaren. How are they coming out of turn 2? No one's crashed yet. Oh, Ishigo still being aggressive against Skeppy, and now Saxman's going to slip by him. Saxman being extremely opportunistic here at the start of the race, getting past Mr. Ishigo, and Ishigo's out. What has happened? He's beached at turn 4 somewhere, and the safety car is already out. I thought we might get a lap 1 safety car, but
I've got that recorded.
I don't know what happened there.
But
I think, did you see, was he side by side with Saxman when it happened?
He got in the grass, and then yeah, the Saxman just went round the outside, and it looked like he got clipped by Saxman.
Yeah, on the one hand, that was a very opportunistic move from Saxman, but on the other hand, Ishigo was getting held up after his failed attempt at passing Skeppy. Got a couple of Skeppy fans in the chat as well. Dummy Acer, this saying, "Let's go, Skeppy." Skep seems to have fended off all the challenges from the start pretty well, but the safety car period will be a challenge in and of itself. He's got to keep those tires warm and take care of their dirty dealings.
The mediums aren't the best to keep tire temperature in, so...
Yeah, that's true. I've been caught out by that myself quite a few times. So, Skeppy in first, Saxman 2 positions right off the start into P2. Juggernog holds position in 3rd. Ekatra gaining 2 places in 4th. Radicus also gaining 2 in 5th place. Kazanek up to 6th. Smoking Ginger down slightly to 7th.
As we see
Kazanek is pitting. Look at that, the Williams coming into the pit lane. This looks like a ballsy strategy call. Oh yeah, Brackish is. Why is he coming off the mediums? This plays into his strategy really well. Early race safety car lets him save his tires, and look at that. How are they going to go on? It is possible to do hards for the rest of the race from here, but it is so difficult. You're going to have tires that nearly 90% wear. Yeah. Jeez. Zach the Beast saying, "Let's go Mia." Alpha Racing League saying, "Let's go Brake Tester." Well, all of them are shoe-ins to win. 2 racing points started 13th and 14th, are now up to 10th and 11th. We'll monitor the progress of Edu and Taylor Clan further as they move up. But in the meantime, here's a nice shot of BRL Skeppy doing absolutely nothing behind the safety car. I suppose this would be a good time to update you on the current state of the Drivers' Championship now that we've got a decent amount of people watching. Saxman24, who's currently sitting 2nd, currently leads the Drivers' Championship with 243 points. Quite a margin. Ekatra in 2nd place, who has 175 points. So that makes for a total gap of, doing some quick math, 68 points after Russia.
Shifts on the side.
Yep. Zach JW currently sits 3rd with 159 points, but he's not here today. Taylor Clan is 4th at the moment with 122 points, followed by Ritzy Raccoon in 5th with 117, who's also not here. And then Brackish, Zizu, Tezonik, Ishigo, and Skeppy, your current race leader, are rounding out the top 10 at the moment. But if Skeppy wins, that'll jolt him well up the order.
Roy B has said Saxman has got this in the bag.
Really?
Apparently.
Yeah, Katra is technically still in the fight for the championship, but it's looking dimmer and dimmer for him with races to go. Especially since Saxman just seems to keep extending his advantage. He hasn't really had too much bad luck. That's a big part of it. He just keeps going and going. And he's not the best in qualifying, but he'll win during the race with overtakes like a start on Juggernog and Ishigo. But yeah, if Juggernog, if Skeppy wins the race today, he could pick up as many as 3 spots in the Drivers' Championship, go up from 10th to 7th. How about that? He's certainly got plenty of opportunity, he just needs to seize them by the horns. But that's easier said than done with a hungry pack of people behind you, especially when the person immediately is the championship leader. Safety car period. Hopefully the safety car will come in pretty soon. Everyone is currently lined up behind the queue, so I do think it'll come in this lap. In the meantime, here's more amazing camera shots of BRL Skeppy following the safety car and doing nothing. Although to be fair to him, he is weaving around the track now, being conscious of his tire temperatures. Because when you slow down, when you decrease that average speed and that average load on the tires, the temperatures will go way, way down. And you've got to find a way to fix that, and that way is normally weaving across the track. to create friction with some temperature back in.
Exy says, "Let's go, boys." Skeppy.
Yes, BR Alexia, one of our league admins. Echo has just joined for reasons unbeknownst to me. He's a tier 4 driver. I'm not sure what he's doing around here.
Yeah.
If you're watching and you're in the lobby, and you're not just going to make the lobby the more people that spectate it. So, yeah, let's try and get out of there if you're not racing. Or commentating like ourselves. 33 viewers now.
On.
Oh, you're right. Oh, Saxman's going to get an illegal overtake there. Skeppy really suddenly backing the pack up. I suppose that can be chalked up to inexperience. Skeppy hasn't led a race in quite a while around here. His last podium was second place all the way back at France, which was race 10. For context, we're currently at race 18. Here's the restart. Skeppy bouncing off the Casio triangle as he should. Just gunning it immediately down the pit straight. Saxman's going to be too far back for a move here, I would say. Everyone's safely into turn 1, to a little wide during turn. Opportunity unless they make ahead of you. Skeppy, Saxman, Juggernaut, Katra, and Radicus as we restart on lap 4 of this 27-lap Japanese Grand Prix. We're going to ride on board with BRL Skeppy. Ooh, Juggernaut's actually pressuring the McLaren. Hold on a minute. Juggernaut right on the back of the McLaren coming out of sector number 1. And through the Degna corners, these are not overtaking opportunities here. He'll have to wait until probably Spoon Curve or perhaps the Casio Triangle. Those are the two best spots to do other than the pit straight. But with an exit like that, I don't think he's going to do very much at all. Not the best from by Juggernaut. Meanwhile, Zizou currently pressuring his teammate Smoking Ginger. Keep in mind, no DRS until the end of lap 5, since this is only our first lap of green flag running. Enabled on the start of the 3rd lap of green flag running. Zizou taking a bit too much of a tight line through Spoon. Smoking Ginger going a bit too wide, and I think they canceled each other out because the gap looks just about the same as it did before. Meanwhile, Taylor Klein also pressuring his teammate, ARS Edu, into 130-yard corner. Medium tires do not have the grip to go around the outside of 130-yard corner like Fernando Alonso did, especially not against an equal opponent. So Taylor's going to hang back, and I'm guessing he's not going to try and move until DRS is enabled. Saxman sets the fastest lap of the race with 130.6. And he's going to make a move. He's using all of his battery, and there's contact. Perhaps just a little bit of a nudge as Skeppy moves very late to cover off the onslaught of the McLaren. Skeppy and Saxman both used a lot of their ERS on that last lap. Juggernaut has a lot more, 80%, so he could be the one on the offensive for this next lap or two. That was a very late move from Skeppy. Yeah, he ran him hard, but it was fair. It was fair. Skeppy did nothing wrong.
On the back of Juggernaut.
Oh, you're right, Katra right there. Yeah, everyone's staying pretty nose to tail right now. Of course, in real life, the dirty air is a huge factor at Japan. It often keeps cars separated from each other a little bit more. But in the F1 game, where the dirty air has been that isn't nearly as much of a problem as we go down the second straight now. Katra still right behind Juggernaut for the final podium position. One thing that should be mentioned here is penalties. If you exceed the track limits 3 times during the course of a race, you will receive a 3-second time penalty. And doing that repeatedly will get you more penalties, and that can often affect the outcome of a race. But Japan is not... Oh, there's a yellow flag. Is that brackish? Someone's I think it's brake tester. It is brake tester. I don't know why he's going slower.
Spoon.
Yeah, no visible front wing damage.
He got no front wing damage on Edu, I believe it was.
Oh yes, Edu's missing an end plate on the right side. He's gonna pit now. Skeppy says the fastest lap. DRS is enabled. So much happening right now, and I absolutely love it. I did not expect this at all from a 13-car race, which this currently is. Brake tester's pitting as well, and he's retiring.
Oh wow!
Brake tester just saying that was some BS, and I'm done with it. And I can't say I blame him. That was a pretty sudden incident, and I'm guessing we'll be seeing something related to it in the steward's office. But until then, we got to keep tabs on these battles.
Am I dreaming?
BRL Skeppy is indeed in P1 at the moment, but we're focusing on the Ferrari of Radicus. Katra seems to have fallen back slightly from the rear bumper by Juggernaut, and now Radicus is pressuring him for 4th place. And BRL Maverick, you're not dreaming right now, but you might be dreaming later. Anything can happen at this. Stay tuned. Keep your eyes glued to this race. Saxman's going to be well within DRS range of Skeppy. through the pit straight. The question is how good of an exit he's getting off Spoon. Sweller's team's going to get the penalty of the day for multiple warnings. Again, Japan, not that difficult with the track limits, but it can still punish you if you start messing around. Saxman gets a really good exit off of Spoon, actually. He gained a couple of tenths on the back straight. Yeah, with the assistance of Slipstream, he's doing really well. He might have cut the chicane a little bit there. No warning for track limits, but he's going to be so close. He's only a third of a second behind. Saxman's at the fastest lap of the race. He's approaching Skeppy at Mach 3 or something like that. And he's passed into turn 1. That was a very clean overtake for the lead.
And now Saxman's going to run off into the lead.
I thought with the Skeppy a bit of a wiggle off of turn 2, and that might make him vulnerable to Juggernog. Certainly not going to help him keep up with the McLaren.
He's slow through the S's.
Yeah, the S's are really hard on your tires. They can heat up your tires if you're not careful, especially later on in a stint. Zach the Beast reminding us the dirty air can affect the car a lot in Sector 1 if you're close enough. Yeah, just not nearly as much as in real life, thankfully, because that gives us better racing.
Yeah,
outside of the DRS by Juggernog, but the top 3 are nose to tail. Radicus is right on the back of Katra. Juggernog almost ran into the back of his teammate there into the hairpin. Really braking late, but I think it cost both of them time. And now no one's going to be within striking distance of anybody else for the back straightaway. Still using this wonderful rear onboard view of Saxman's McLaren to monitor the action. Can anyone make a move? Doesn't look like it. Everyone's pretty equidistant at the moment. Rehab1 saying, let's go Sax in the chat. Yeah, I suppose I should say, Maverick, to update the answer to your question, yes, you are now dreaming. Ooh, Juggernaut got a really good exit off the Casio Triangle. He's really close to Skeppy's. He's not much further away than Saxman was when he made the move, but no, Skeppy's exhausting his ERS to stay ahead.
Gets passed by Radicus. Radicus goes deep into turn 1.
Radicus side by side with the Renault for 4th place. I was about to say Saxman had a bit of a wiggle off of turn 2 after a lockup, so that could let Skeppy catch right up to the back of them again. But Radicus has gotten ahead of Katra. You are absolutely correct. 2 Haas cars still pretty close together. Ginger and Zizou about a half second apart. And look at this. Juggernog is really pressuring his teammate now. He's saying, look, Skeppy, I'm faster. Let me by so I can have a go at the lead and help our Constructors' Championship chances.
This is the best race I've seen from Skeppy in a while.
That's what Suzuka provides. Ask and it shall deliver. Juggernog relatively close to Skeppy for this part of the track. What can he do in Spoon Curve? Ooh, he locks up a bit, goes wide at the first apex. That's not going to help him, but Skeppy's right on the back of Saxman now. He's not going to have a whole lot of ERS to attack with, but he is close and he's got the slipstream. Saxman has actually depleted his battery quite a lot as well. Saxman and Skeppy are about equal, while Juggernog has a lot of battery to attack with, so watch out for that on the pit straight. Going to ride on board with the second Mercedes down the pit straight for this next lap.
Skeppy a little deep into the final chicane.
Saxman and Skeppy both taking suboptimal lines there, and now Juggernog is going to unleash the full force of his battery. Skeppy's going to get DRS. Radicus has the fastest lap of the race. Radicus is actually catching up to the top 3, so we could have a 4-way battle for the lead on our hands soon. Especially if these guys keep fighting. Juggernog thinks better of it, but Skeppy locks up under the pressure.
The
top 2 lock up.
And Taylor got past Speller.
Ooh, Juggernaug's looking for a move. He's a side-by-side. That was a crazy move, and I wonder if Team Orders were involved there, because that was actually really easy in the end. And now Radicus is right on the back of Skeppy, so we do.
If
Skeppy can stay within DRS range. If Skeppy can stay within DRS range of his teammate, we're going to have a 4-way battle for the lead, like I predicted.
Saxman
and Saxman. Yep, Saxman with a penalty coming through Degna. Going wide at Degna 1 can very easily get you a penalty. Really in either of the Degna corners. Look at this, Juggernog almost running into the back of Saxman.
These drivers are going to be stuck in the entire way now.
Yeah, he is really going full send, but you're right, the tires are starting to fall off now if you're a soft runner. I'm guessing some of these guys are hitting at the end of this lap for either the hard or the medium compound tire. I suppose if you're pitting this early, it'll be for the medium. But the one stop is usually faster in this game at almost every track, so I think the soft hard is going to be the favorite strat. In that case, these guys might be going a couple more laps. We saw on the AWS pit window tracker that these guys could go 11 or 12 laps into the race on these softs before they pit for hards.
Saxman pits.
Oh, but Saxman, he pits now. He's going into the box.
Oh, just
Double
about
lockup.
slowed down as well.
Yep. Trying to get a bit of an undercut, I suppose, on the rest of the field. Going on to the hard tire, so he is committing to the one-stop strategy.
It's held up by Catra.
Right, ooh, Catra pits as well. That's not going to help Saxman at all.
As
It
the
could be a change for the lead. Saxman got to have one hell of an outlap here if he doesn't want to be overcut by Juggernog. Roller Steam pits as well onto the hards. Everyone else stays out.
We have to overcut these drivers on them hards because of how slow they are, but...
That is true. The hards can take a couple of laps to get into their ideal window, so a hard undercut is much more difficult than, say, a medium undercut or even a soft one. Skeppy now outside DRS range of Juggernog, so we're going to have to see if Juggernog can maybe pull away, or if... But maybe... This could happen. Skeppy tried the undercut here. I know in real life the driver in front among the two Mercedes cars always gets strategic priority, but these guys might have their own ideas. There's no Toto Wolff-like figure holding them back from pitting before the other one.
There's no Bono.
Indeed, but there is a Radicus, and he's Royal Skeppy now. He is well within DRS range, although he doesn't have too much battery to attack with at the moment. He's not going to pull an Alonso, I'll tell you that much.
Juggernog is 40% ERS.
Ooh, big of a... Radicus not having the best line through 130R, but still right there, taking a bit of an unorthodox line through the Casio triangle.
Juggernog doesn't pit. Neither does Skip.
Later Apex.
Neither does Radicus.
No one's pitting in the top three. What about behind? Neither of the Haas's are pitting.
Taylor, no.
Taylor's staying out. He's on the medium, so that makes sense. But none of the top five pitting. I'm actually surprised by that. I will say, what's Radicus got in store now? He is 2/10 behind Skeppy. That is nothing in Formula One terms.
Yeah.
Nothing when it comes to intervals. It's a lot in qualifying, but nothing when you're actually out on track doing battle with another car. Skeppy, really good flow through the first sector. He seems to be handling those worn tires well.
Bit of a bad exit.
One thing I will say is it looks good for Mercedes right now to overtake Red Bull for 4th in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes are currently only 13 points behind Red Bull, so if they keep this position, they'll easily pass them, because neither Red Bull driver is actually here today. That certainly helps. The two Red Bull drivers are Zach JW and Eaton. Neither of them have had particularly good attendance records in recent times. Haas could also overtake Alfa Romeo potentially for 6th in the championship. They're only 7 points behind, and neither Alfa Romeo driver is here today, so could have plenty of changes in that regard. Watch out! We'll watch out for that during the race, and there is actually a steward inquiry for the race already, as Radicus continues to hound BRL Skeppy. I'll take a look at the steward inquiry once pit stops are done. Yep, Juggernog's pitting.
So
Skeppy's not going to bother with the double stack. Radicus is pitting though. Radicus into the pit. Zizou into the pits. Ginger stays out.
Yep.
Taylor stays out. Taylor might try a move here on Smoking Ginger. We're approaching that crossover point where mediums become faster than soft tires at the same age. Struggling. Taylor, he knows he's playing the long game. He needs to preserve the tires as much as possible. Saxman's at the fastest lap of the race.
Juggernog.
Look at that. His teammate Ariel Brackish, meanwhile, is being held up a bit by Tazonic. But Saxman really putting in some excellent laps. Tazonic disconnects. You know what to do, Milk.
Yeah.
Oh, really unfortunate. Tazonic.
I should really add him on.
Now Brackish. Yeah, now Brackish will be able to ghosty ghost through him quite easily, since we have the AI difficulty turned way down. Ooh, but Brackish gets a bit of a wiggler out of Degna 2. Meanwhile, Smoking Ginger and BRL Skeppy
got jumped by Radicus. Everyone know that.
Not really. He was already ahead of him anyway, so.
Oh, was he?
Radicus did make the pass on track earlier on in the race. So that is just the status quo. Not to mention the fact that Radicus is on medium tires, Katra's on hards.
Yeah.
The mediums can last 15 laps at this track, so I wonder, has Katra missed a trick here? In staying out a little bit longer on the softs and having faith in the durability of the medium. One thing these guys will definitely be looking out for.
From what I've heard of him, he doesn't like the mediums too much. Especially around this track.
Ginger pits, Skeppy pits. Alright, this is the question. Can Saxman reclaim the lead? Just coming into the Casio triangle now, it's going to be very tight indeed. I think this could be the overcut of a century.
He's only got 25 seconds loss anyway, so he's got this easy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that. Saxman goes by Skeppy, and so does Juggernog. So it is Saxman, Juggernog, and Radicus. Radicus jumps Skeppy. Look at that. Radicus has done enough.
Radicus
So
was
Katra
just behind them as well, weren't he?
Katra remains in a net P5, and then Zizou in a net P6, and Smoking Ginger follows in P7. Actually, Zizou undercut his teammate there. Wasn't Zizou behind his... Wasn't he behind
No,
him before?
he had just got in front before the safety car pit stops.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Sackman.
Yeah, one thing that all these drivers are going to be watching with interest is how long will Taylor Clan in the Racing Point go on the medium tires, because he started the race on those. And it'll be interesting to see how far he feels like he can take them before they can pit.
Look at Juggernaut and Saxman.
Oh yeah, Juggernaut's going to be caring about how long Taylor goes, definitely. As is Radicus, as is Skeppy, and the two Haas's. The hard runners don't really care. They know they can make it to the end.
Yeah.
But Juggernaut really hounding Saxman now. He's on softer tires. If Juggernaut is forced into a two-stop later on because his tires are too worn, then he is going to need to get by Saxman now to make that happen. Anyway, that Stewart inquiry I was mentioning earlier, has been filed by DXD Ishigo regarding the lap 1 incident that brought out the car. Ooh, that's really nose-to-tail stuff between Juggernaut and Saxman. But Ishigo is saying, quote, "On the first lap, I get the better start and try to go to the right of Skeppy, but he aggressively moves to block me, forcing me to lift off to avoid contact. Then coming out of the second corner, yes, that is a pass for the lead. Look at that. The net race lead anyway. Then coming out of the second corner, Ishigo gets the better exit and got along his right rear tire, but again, Skeppy defends aggressively, so I have to lift off again. Saxman then tries to pass me, but takes me out. So Ishigo is assigning blame to Saxman for that whole thing. The question now is, will the stewards view it as a racing incident? Will they assign blame to Saxman or maybe to Skeppy? Depending on what happens in that regard, that'll change the face of this entire race. Purple first sector for Juggernaut, so we know he's got excellent pace at the moment. He might be the fastest man on track. I would not be surprised at all. But that is the current state of the Stewart inquiry. Anterior Titan in the chat right now, one of our Tier 4 commentators. I'll do the... You want comms too? Oh, this looks like a conversation between Maverick and Titan.
Yeah.
All right, let's take our eyes off the chat for a moment. Tazonic has rejoined the race, thankfully. So he'll be himself from this imminent onslaught from Juggernaut and Saxman. Purple middle sector for Juggernaut, so it looks like he is going to get the fastest lap here. And getting the DRS off of Tazonic will not hurt that at all. Ooh, Tazonic locks up. You could say, yeah, Juggernaut is being held up a bit by the Williams through that chicane, but he's going to get the DRS, and he's going to set the fastest lap of the race easily. 29.4. Juggernaut's not going to fight it. Or sorry, Tazonic's not going to fight it against Juggernaut. Saxman too far back to get past him on the pit straight. He might have to overtake him in a much more awkward place. We'll see how that develops. Meanwhile, Skeppy right on the back of Radicus. He is not giving up the fight for this podium position. Ooh, a bit wide in turn 3. Radicus a bit wide in 4.
Zozu catching a katana.
Oh, you're right. Katra is getting caught. Zizou choosing the medium compound tire. Katra playing it safe with the hards, and Katra might be kicking himself a bit right now for that decision. Radicus gets a time penalty for warnings. He's pushing very hard to get past Skeppy, and he actually has got oh no, he was already in front of Skeppy. What the heck am I saying? But he is pushing very hard to try and escape Skeppy, which he is not currently succeeding in. Oh, but Skeppy gets a tank slapper off the hairpin. Edu gets a penalty for warnings. That is not going to help Skeppy's chances against the Ferrari. This is a very engrossing battle indeed for the net P3 in this race. I don't think, of the two that haven't pitted yet, I would say Brackish is not going to impact this battle for the win at all. He could get some points, though, if he plays the strategy right. Taylor Clan, though, watch out for him. He's gone... Actually, Taylor has gone 15 laps on the mediums now. So everyone who pitted on lap 11 or 12 on the medium tire, they know they're safe as Taylor locks up a bit. They know they're safe to go to the end if they pitted onto the medium in that window. So that's very bad for anyone who selected hards at the point in the race. That includes Saxman, Katra, and Swellerstein as well.
Skeppy gets back past Radicus.
Oh, you're right. Skeppy overtaking it through turn 2, that looked like. And BRL Skeppy is back up into the lead. Or not into the lead. Again, what the heck am I saying? But anyway, Skeppy still getting past the Ferrari. Now he's going to look to dispatch Tazonic. In the meantime, Saxman just out of DRS range of Juggernaut at the moment. He doesn't really have the tires to fight back and try and close up to him. So I don't think that's really a battle at the moment, especially since Saxman is really depleting his ERS right now. Juggernaut just saving it in case he does need to defend. Juggernaut also catching up to the second McLaren, interestingly. Ariel Brackish is about to be approached by these two. I wonder, is Saxman going to try and convince his teammate to hold up the Mercedes?
I presume
My
so.
Brackish doesn't have to just move over and let him by, because he's not being lapped. This is for position. Brackish is ahead of these two because he hasn't pitted yet.
See what Taylor Clan does this lap. Does he pit?
Is Taylor going to pit? No, he's not.
No, he
He's staying
doesn't.
out. He's gambling and trying to get fresher soft tires for the end of the race, and I think that might be the better decision. 10 laps to go now in this Japanese Grand Prix, and there's plenty of storylines to follow. Juggernog now in DRS range of Brackish. Tazonic back within DRS. Oh, sorry, Saxman back within DRS range of Juggernog. So Saxman not out of the battle for the win just yet. Skeppy getting by Tazonic. Skeppy passing the Williams into turn 1. Am I missing all of Skeppy's best moments today? Jeez. Anyway, he is still ahead now, and Tazonic, I'm guessing he's going to want to come into the pits pretty soon, because the tires are pretty old. I don't think he's going to be able to go to the end. He is going to get chewed up by Radicus here, and perhaps Katra and the two Haas's as well. They're not too far behind. We'll have to see how that unfolds. Actually, let's see how it unfolds right now. On board with Radicus, trying to chase down Tazonic, who's already on 14-lap-old hard tires. Keep in mind, Tazonic pitted just after the safety car came in at the start of the race. Radicus now really chasing him down through the middle sector. I don't think he's going to try anything into Spoon, but maybe into the Casio Triangle if he's feeling brave. He certainly has the tire advantage to make that work. His tires are 10 laps fresher and a compound harder. Or softer. Once again, using soft with hard, left with right, up with down, as per usual. But this is still a cracker of a race. Smoking didn't get a 3-second time penalty now for warnings. That's not going to help him in his fight against his teammate Zizou. Radicus now, he's going to dive it. No, he'll have DRS on the pit straight anyway. He does not need to do anything silly into the chicane. In the meantime, Saxman gets by Brackish because Brackish is pitting, and Taylor's pitting as well. Okay, Taylor's pitting onto the soft tire, and he'll have to go about 9 laps on that. Brackish also pitting onto the softs, as he should in that situation. So these two are going to come out of the pits on the fringes of the points, and we're just going to have to see how far up the field they can go. They look like they couldn't make mincemeat of Zizou and Smoking Ginger. But at the same time, Zizou looks like he can make mincemeat of Katra because he's just catching and catching and catching thanks to that tire. And he's now within DRS range coming through the first sector. He's only 6/10 behind.
Yeah, the
very juicy battle to watch.
With the 30, but
yeah, both of them are catching Tazonic hands over fist. And Radicus, I predicted, got past Tazonic on the pit straight, but he was really squirrely out of Dagna too. Wow. Radicus pushing at the moment to try and catch back up to Skeppy and resume the fight for the final podium position.
Skeppy got a little bit sideways out of hairpin.
Yeah, he's been struggling. He's been struggling in the hairpin this entire race. I've been noticing.
I've
Really
just seen
difficult
that
traction zone.
Taylor's pitted as well. Onto the softs. Brackish done the same onto the softs as well.
Katra pulling away from Zizou slightly in the middle sector, but I don't think it'll be enough to prevent an onslaught on the pit. But Radicus has gained a few tenths on Skeppy, actually. He's gained a few tenths in the middle sector. It looks like Radicus has more confidence in his car at the moment, and perhaps more pace, and he can use that against the Mercedes. Skeppy, our pole sitter, looking like he might have to settle for being off the podium here. But at the same time, he does have a penalty. Let's not forget that. Let's view the penalties. Radicus has a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so he is going to have... Unless Skeppy gets a penalty himself, he is a battle in getting 3rd place in the steward's office as well as on track.
Yeah.
But again, there could be a penalty heading Skeppy's way, or Saxman's way. We can't lose involving a Shigo. We can't really be sure of anything at this point. Radicus has gained another 3 first sector so far. So it's looking like he's extremely fast at the moment. Lil Young Q-Man is in the chat, one of our Tier 4 racers and a one-time commentator. A good race so far, yes, indeed. It's been a real entertaining one, and that's exactly what I expected from Suzuka, to be honest. It's a real driver's track, very challenging. You have to earn your overtakes, but they're not impossible to earn. Just such a great place. The gaps looks like staying consistent between Radicus and Skeppy through the middle sector of this lap. What can Radicus do on the pit straight? Probably nothing since he doesn't have DRS yet. He does get a good line through 130R corner. Maybe if he gets a good lunge out of the chicane, he can put himself in position for a pass into Spoon Curve next lap. Saxman's at the fastest lap of the race from second place. He is not done. The hard tires are coming into their own, and now the championship leader is looking like he could actually challenge for the win. Although, to be fair, Juggernaut doesn't have any penalties, so he is in a very good position because of that. And Taylor, you're right, Taylor Clan setting the fastest lap, and he's gotten past Smoking Ginger as well for 8th place. So it's only up from here, I'd say, unless Taylor has an accident. He's very close to Zizou already, and Zizou's very close to Katra already. So this could be a top 5 for Taylor. Very good. That would be an excellent result. But Saxman really pushing his McLaren to the limits right now. Those hard tires should not be doing what they're doing in terms of performance compared to Juggernog. But he's squeezing it out. He's very much squeezing everything out of that car and those tires. Radicus, meanwhile, he's now within DRS range of Skeppy, but just barely, hovering between 9 and 1.1 tenths. Keep tabs on this battle. Whether Radicus gets DRS all depends on Spoon Curve and the Casio Triangle. The Casio Triangle. The detection point is actually before the final chicane, so it's going to be all about Spoon. What can Radicus? Can he get a good exit? Ooh, he's gaining a bit of time. He's gaining a bit of time. I don't think it's going to be enough. Where's the detection point? It's right before the braking zone. Oh, he's got it. He's within a second. Radicus is going to get DRS this lap on the pit straight. That is huge. That could change the face of this entire podium battle. Because he needs to get ahead as soon as possible and get that 3-second gap, or at least pressure a mistake from Skeppy that makes him get a penalty. And he needs to do that ASAP. Tazonik, you're right, he hasn't pitted yet. Maybe he is looking to extend right to the end of the race, but I don't think he's going to be able to do that without losing several positions. Look at this. Taylor and Zizou. Taylor overtakes Zizou in an excellent maneuver into turn 1. The tire advantage is just insane for him right now. And Taylor now less than a second behind Katra and Tazonik, who've been dueling for the last lap or two. And instead of Zizou getting the move done on Katra, he finds himself passed by a very hungry Racing Point. They switch to helicopter cam for the Degna corners. So beautiful. Ooh, Taylor gaining hand over fist. Katra locks up in Degna too. It's not going to help his cause at all. Could Taylor try it into the hairpin? Ooh, he thinks about it. Maybe a switchback on exit? No, he's going to stay tucked in behind the Renault. He knows there are better opportunities than the hairpin. And Zizou still in this fight. He could nick a position off of Katra if he really summons the pace in the closing laps. He has left in his tires. Tazonik really struggling on his boots. 18 tires. Not the most fun thing in the world. What can Katra do? Can Katra get past Tazonik into the Casio Triangle? It really is a situation of pass or be passed for the Renault driver. Will he do it? Will he go send? He's going to wait until the pit straight. And so will Taylor. Taylor not trying anything stupid. Such a good run. Such a good run off the final corner. Katra's going to get DRS, but so is Taylor.
Skeppy
this
gets
is a difficult situation for Taylor. And while we've been watching this, Radicus has passed Skeppy. Radicus has gotten past Skeppy while we were focusing on the battle for 5th place. So Radicus is going to need to do all he can now to try and get a 3-second gap in these laps and get that podium. It would be absolutely huge for Radicus in the standings. Radicus currently sits 17th in the Drivers' Championship with 9 points, and he's only finished 4 races, 2 of which were in the points.
I don't think
Tazonik so much
because he's already fit. He's already made the 1 pit stop.
Tazonik has made a stop, that's for sure, but the question is now, did he do it too early?
He's on lap 2.
Will that tire explode on him? We'll find out soon enough. In the meantime, we're going to see if Taylor Clan can get by this time. He's only gaining ground on Katra. It's looking good, but is it good enough for a move on the backstretch? I don't think it will be. Riding on board again with Taylor Clan. Nothing doing here. I think if anything happens, it's going to happen on the pit straight. Ooh, good run through the Casio Triangle, but Katra got the same thing. Katra got the Tazonik thing than Taylor is tires. It's too bad. He had good pace. He could have had a point finish, but he's just got nothing right now, and it looks like he's going to be last of the finishers unless something happens to any of the drivers up ahead. And Brackish actually could still pick up some points here on penalties, because Edu has a penalty, and I know that much. He actually has, yeah, he has 1 penalty. Same with Ginger, but that evolves. And actually, speaking of shot up right to the back of this train, Tazonic is now a huge trolley train. Look at this. Katra, Taylor, Zizu, and Ginger are all stuck behind him. This is a very interesting situation indeed. Can Taylor do anything to break the cork of the bottle? Can Katra do anything to break the bottle? He seems better. Tazonic managing his ERS just right so that he has enough to defend with when he needs it. But if he makes a mistake, the guys behind will pound. And his tires are only going to get worse. Ooh, Katra super close. The gap is less than 3 tenths.
That's the closest he's been all race.
Like it could make a move into. He's no, he's conservative. Taylor didn't do anything about it. Still, just the stack.
The 10th back one.
I'm surprised that Katra's getting held up lately. Ooh, he's got.
Here comes
Out
Taylor.
of the essence. Degna 1 is not an overtaking spot, though. Maybe he could try a little move into the hairpin if he gets good purchase off Degna 2. Yes, he does get good purchase, but good enough? Let's find out.
Not quite.
No, not good enough. It's so tense. And there's plenty of stuff going on out front as well. We just can't see it. Saxman is just behind Juggernaut, but he has a penalty. Radicus has just had a Skeppy, but he has a penalty as well. Katra so close to the back of the Williams. It's painful to see how much he's getting held up. And
Taylor
all of them
drops
are
back
losing
off
time in
the
top 4.
off spin curve. By the looks of it.
Maybe trying to get a better run through the triangle. Not too sure, but ooh. Katra thinks about it into the chicane, but not going to try it. Not going to try it there. He knows his best opportunity is the pit straight, but Taylor also knows that his best opportunity is the pit straight. Taylor's the closest he's been. Taylor could make a move here.
I think he's going to be close enough though still. Yeah, no.
That is the trend right up the gearbox of the Renault. Audi 2K saying Taylor P4. No, you are incorrect. Taylor will be P5 if he can get by these two. Ooh, great purchase out of the S's. Not enough, though. Not enough to try anything into the Degnas. Look at this. And the two Haas's are duking it out as well. Zizu and Ginger both very close together. Look at this. Taylor could try something now. He's going to send it. He's going to think about sending it, but not quite.
Connor keeps it.
He can't be making half moves like that. He's just going to lose time because of it.
Yeah.
Not a good situation for Taylor. He's just stuck now. He's going to hang back again into Spoon, maybe try and negate some of the dirty air effect that he's been suffering from. And do the same thing that he did last lap on the pit straight.
Ooh.
Side by side for the lead, Juggernaut and Saxman. How did I not see this?
It's the DRS, I believe.
But
No
he's
one's
not using it. He's not opening his rear wing. No one's. They're just side by side. Photo op. I wonder.
Wow.
Just kept for that photo op. Awesome. But meanwhile, further on, that Saxman has the penalty, so even if he gets a
Oh.
Tazonic's race. P6, Katra into P, and Zizu, Ginger, and Eden Tazonic as well. Brackish behind Tazonic is on softs and closing fast, so Tazonic could fall entirely out of the points here with that one mistake. Oh no. Maverick saying the stream is bugs right now.
Tana gets a penalty.
Yeah, that tends to happen. I have no idea why. Katra gets a penalty. Wait a minute. Okay, this is huge. This means Taylor doesn't actually have to pass Katra. He can just hang behind for this last lap and a half. And same thing with Zizu. Zizu could inherit a position here as well. He's less than 3 seconds behind. So this has just unraveled Katra's race as well, you could argue. Meanwhile, Brackish has just caught Tazonic hands over fist with that tire advantage. He's now almost within DRS range. Down from 2.4 to 1.1 seconds already.
Oh,
in the middle sector. It's a
Ginger.
Haas. It's Ginger. Ginger's gone around now.
It's all happening.
Everything's
in the
popping
last
off
lap.
right at the end. Even Sweller Steam's going to go by Ginger. That was a really bad one.
Oh, and Saxman goes
Alright,
around the outside of Juggernaut.
Oh my gosh. Quite a dicey move, but I don't think he's going to get it. He's not going to have just one lap. It's not going to work. It is not going to work. And Skeppy looks to have that.
Yep.
The race has already passed him by. Get him somewhere if he just exploits that tire advantage to the maximum.
Oh, he's gone slow through the S's. He's lost time. But them
No, he's still
them
right
hard,
there. He's still gaining. Despite that, he's still gained 2/10 in the first sector. Despite that mistake,
Them
that's
hard
how big
tires.
the advantage is. Tess still on the grass. What can Brackish do here to take 9th place? Gap down to 5/10. What about out of the hairpin? How much exit traction can Brackish get? Quite a lot. That's the answer. Down to 4/10 now.
Wow.
3/10. He's going to have to try it into the Casio triangle. That is his only chance. He's going to have to
Saxman
spend everything he's got to get close enough to make a move into the
got a
chicane.
1.5
The final chicane
gap.
of the race. Ooh,
Not
he's
enough.
right at the gearbox now, and there's a yellow flag
Juggernaut
and second
pit.
three for no reason. And he's got past.
Juggernaut
He's
win.
alongside. Brackish is alongside.
Saxman
He's going to get by Tazonic even before they reach 130-yard
and
corner.
Skippy.
What will Tazonic do here? Is he going to send it into the Casio triangle in a last-ditch attempt to reclaim P9?
Catcher goes down to P7.
No, he's not. Tazonic goes off the track. He goes wide.
He's got a
He's going to cut the
puncture.
chicane. He does have a puncture. Oh, he's got... Yes, he's got a front left puncture, and that's going to give Ginger the position back. Oh
Wow.
my gosh, what an end. Katra with Ginger, with Sweller, with Taylor, with Saxman. Oh my gosh. That was a lot
So
to
that
keep
was
track of.
Saxman. Juggernaut.
Juggernaut wins the
Skippy.
race. He wins on penalties, followed by Saxman. And then Skeppy takes 3rd place, also on penalties. 2 Mercedes on the podium. Skeppy's joining the party now, and we'll have Juggernaut and Saxman in here momentarily. Skeppy, make sure to tick your box before interviews start. There's Juggernaut coming into the party now. And we'll get your finishing order up in just a moment. Really unfortunate for Tazonic with that puncture right at the end. Right at the death of it. And that cost him a point. Really unfortunate stuff for him. And there's Saxman, and here's your finishing order. Juggernaut winning the race, followed by Saxman and Skeppy, who we've got in the party now. And Radicus, P4, thanks to penalties. Taylor, 5th place, and also the fastest lap of the race. Pretty good considering he started at almost plumb dead last in 13th. Then Zizou in P6, Katra P7, Edu in 8th, and Brackish and Smoking Ginger taking the final points-paying positions. Sweller Steam 11th place on his debut, just behind the points, and then Tazonic in 12th with that puncture. And your retirements are Brake Tester and Ishigo, who both bowed out early. Now then, let's start interviews. Milk, if you want to start out with Skeppy and Saxman.
Okay. Skippy. What a lap in qualifying for pole position there. Couldn't quite hold on to it in the race. Great battle between you and Radicus for the final podium, sorry.
So I'll basically start off with quali. The car was set up for 100% qualifying, at least there, and I was going to do a wing change, and I forgot. So during the race, but it was terrible. And then going into turn 1, I think Ichigo tried to go down the inside, and I didn't see the arrows, so I might have cut him off, which caused him to get loose and go into Jug, or at least in front of Jug. And then the battle with Radicus, I made a smart decision earlier in the race to let Jug go through. My tires were burning off, and he looked like he was doing fine, so I let him go. And then with Radicus, once he got a penalty, I was just in cruise control. There was no point in me pushing to try to catch Saxman. I tried for a bit, and then after a while, I realized it wasn't worth it, and I'll just settle for P3, which is better than not finishing at all. So that was how my race went.
I mean, this is your best result since, I believe, France, was it Flanders?
Yeah, France.
Yes, that's correct. P2 at France.
Yeah. So, finally get to taste that champagne again.
Oh, I know. I've been waiting.
Moving on to Saxman now. Awesome race from you, Saxman. Good battle between you and Jug. Couldn't quite get past him until the last lap. Then you had to get that 3-second gap, which couldn't quite happen. So just talk us through what happened, what was going on in that race from your point of view.
Man, that was fun. That was probably the most fun I've had in a league race in quite some time. I gotta hand it to Juggernaut for good quick pace, man. Congrats to you. Well deserved. I don't know, man. I burned off those soft tires. That and yeah, but it is what it is, and I didn't know how the meetings were gonna go. Pretty much burned off the softs and had to hit that lap, so hard as it was, and you'd have to ask Juggernaut, or he'll have to tell me, but wish I would have made that move probably 3-4 laps sooner. Pulled off that last lap as well, but just missed out on the fastest lap. I ran out of fuel. I posted across the line, but I paid attention a little bit better. I might have got. Yeah, no, I'll take P2, man. That was good. Congrats to Skippy as well for a nice finish.
Hey, thank you. Congrats on P2.
All right, and now we'll move to our race winner by Juggernog in the Mercedes. First of all, really great race from you in general. First, let's talk about the first lap. Of course, pretty chaotic. You got passed by Saxman off the line. What do you think happened there from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I thought I had a decent start, and Saxman just got a ridiculous launch. I was focused on staying on the outside of Ichigo there and not hitting the back of Skeppy, which I have a tendency to do in practice. Before I know it, Saxman's on my inside, and, he took that inside line very well, and Ichigo almost, I don't know what happened to him, but his car almost killed me. I think I survived by an inch. It was definitely not fun.
Yeah, then things calmed down a bit after that. What do you think? You were able to do to get that pace that just put you ahead of your teammate and then Saxman?
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy Japan. It's definitely one of my favorite tracks. I honestly thought once I passed Saxman that was the hardest to keep up the whole time. I had 2 penalties around halfway through the race, and the whole time just trying to stay on the limit, trying to have fun with Saxman. But that last lap. Yeah, I didn't want to push it too much. I didn't want to risk some good fights there, me and Saxman, side to side. It was really fun.
Particular that you think overstepped the line, or was it totally clean?
No, I think it was clean. If anything, I think I one time when we went side to side, but no, he's a very skilled racer. He has unbelievable racecraft, and he's got the pace. But I think more importantly, he can go side to side and not crash the car.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you for coming to this party. Congratulations to all of you on your podiums.
Could I just ask Skippy one more question, please?
Oh, sure.
Skippy, going back to the first lap, what was your point of view of that first lap crash with Ishigo?
So, I went a little bit wide to try to give him room, because the whole goal eventually was to try to slow him down on the exit so Jug could get a run and get him into turn 2. So I ran a little bit wide, and I saw like a glimmer of a red arrow, and then it went back to white. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm clear. So I cut back down a little bit to try starting to squeeze him off, and bright red, and then it died. Then he died, and I was like, did I actually hit him, or did he try to turn out of the? I think I might have hit him. I'm not entirely sure. Ichigo, if you were watching, I apologize. I didn't mean to.
Should interject here in the steward chats. It's not technically official. It appears that the consensus is going to be that regarding the lap 1 incident that took DXD Ishigo out of the race. It looks like Saxman will be getting a 5-second penalty and 1 super license point, although that will not affect his position in the race since he already finished about 8 seconds ahead of Skeppy after in-game penalties. So that's the update on that. Also, in the Drivers' Championship, Juggernog's 2nd win of the season is going to propel him up all the way from 11th up to 7th in the Drivers' Championship, just ahead of Zizou. That knocks Zizou down to 8th, Tazonic down to 9th, and Ishigo down to 11th, also behind Skeppy. Skeppy stays in 10th after his podium, and a very nifty podium for Saxman lifts him even further into the championship lead. Katra P6, I believe, if I wasn't mistaken.
Yeah,
which means his gap is P7. Okay, so that expands his gap by a further 12 points, which means he is now 75 points ahead going into the final 4 races of the season. That means technically, it clinch the championship next week at Austin if he's able to win the race and Katra fails to score points. We'll have to see how that pans out in a week's time. But plenty more to enjoy from Breakout Racing League. Don't go anywhere if you're viewing the stream right now. In about half an hour, we'll have F1 Tier 1, brought to you by our friends Biara Aldorfer and Rick James. And then after the 2 Saturday tiers, come back on Monday for BRL Tier 3. That'll be at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time and 12:30 a.m. British Time. And then F1 Tier 4, which is at 10:30 Eastern Time. And after that, it'll be the United States Grand Prix next week. But for now, we'll get through the rest of the Suzuka tiers and then keep going into next week. Also, we'll have the penultimate race of Realistic Tier next Thursday at Brazil. Don't forget to tune in for that. That'll be at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Amazing things come to pass. I have been Stupid Flanders 48 with Sergeant Milk.